Hey, what it do, baby? It's Jarvis, making a video that literally has been on the back burner for way too long, so I decided to finally finish it. I'm sorry, can we get that again? Literally has been on the back burner for way too long, so I decided to finally finish it. I don't think past me realized how long it was going to take to procrastinate on this video, because today, as of recording this, it is March 23rd. By the way, to clarify, the script for this video, the original script that I'm not following anymore, was written on February 7th and hasn't been touched since. Finish it. Yes, hi, I am Jarvis, and once again, welcome to this video that will finally be finished, and it is the Kingdom Hearts 1 review. Sort of. See, the original video idea for this was it was going to be a more formal review where I talk about the flaws of the game, the things that make the game strong, just the pros and cons of Kingdom Hearts 1. But I've decided to change that and throw all of that out of the window and say, fuck it, we're going to make a video about what I like about Kingdom Hearts 1 and maybe some things I dislike about Kingdom Hearts 1, and we're just going to talk about it. And these would be all of my opinions, regardless of what anyone else thinks. So fuck you. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 originally around 2009. As a kid back on the PlayStation 2, but like I had beaten the game on, I'm pretty sure, standard mode, but a few years later I had beaten the game on Proud finally for the first time, but it wasn't the final mix version. And in the base game of Kingdom Hearts 1, the combat was very slow, but in the final mix version of the game, which was ported to the PS3 later on, the final mix version added in faster moves that made Sora feel more responsive, more like the Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 combat. So when I went back and played Kingdom Hearts 1 on the Xbox One as a full playthrough, I completely fell in love with the game again. I had forgotten for years. I had thought that I disliked Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically because of its combat and its gameplay, and I loved its story. I loved what it told, but I always had disliked the combat. But after going back and playing it on the Xbox One and just sitting down and playing through the entire game again, I did 2 complete playthroughs, and I achievement hunted the game and finally 100%ed all of the achievements. I have this newfound love for Kingdom Hearts 1. And I've always had a love for the entire Kingdom Hearts series. I don't know if you can tell that by the theme of my channel yet, but that's what these videos are for. These videos are literally the reasons why I love these series. So, let's go ahead and get into the juicy tidbits of what I like about this beautiful game. Many people push Kingdom Hearts into the dirt with their boots, saying it's too confusing, and I'll be the first to admit, it can be pretty confusing at times. But with the overall context, it isn't all that confusing. It's just spread over 10 games. But there's so many epic moments that the series has. I mean, there's when Sora fights possessed Riku for the first time.
Sora! Forget it. There's no way you're taking Kairi's heart.
There's the moment that Sora sacrifices himself because Kairi's heart is stuck within him. It is not just the story that I love about Kingdom Hearts, it's also the characters, including the heroes and the villains. I love Kingdom Hearts' main concept of, or at least Kingdom Hearts 1's concept of, all of the Disney villains being a sort of council and sort of banding together to stop Sora from sealing the keys to all of their worlds, because all of the Disney villains want to use darkness so that they can get power. And that's really cool to me. The idea that all of them are working together to try to stop Sora's plans. And granted, Sora kills literally all of them. And then it comes down to the leader of the villains, who is Maleficent. And Maleficent is very, very interesting because she thinks she's the main villain. She thinks she's the big baddie of Kingdom Hearts 1. But I don't even think she realizes that Ansem literally could just like snap and like send her to the ground if he wanted to. Now, actually, speaking of Ansem, Ansem is the main antagonist of Kingdom Hearts 1. He is, I won't go into full story details because it'll take me a bit to explain it, but he is the main villain. He is sort of manipulating Maleficent and all of the entirety of the Disney villain cast to do his bidding for him. And they're doing it for their own reasons, but obviously he's got some say. Maleficent really thinks she is the main baddie, like I said, and the minute she's killed, Ansem has like 4 different fights after that. She gets 2 fights, and that's it, and then she's beaten. It was such a different concept compared to what the rest of the games went with. Now, that's not to say that I dislike all of the future games because of their villains. No, not at all. I'm just saying, from Kingdom Hearts 1's perspective, it's a different type of villain because it's not Kingdom Hearts' original villains that are the problem, it's the Disney villains that are the problem. And that's cool to me. The idea that the Disney characters are playing a bigger role in this overarching story. And I wish that was the case for newer Kingdom Hearts games. Now granted, like I said, King Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, they're involved in the newer Kingdom Hearts content, but the actual Disney characters really aren't anything. I know this is a little sidestep here, but in Kingdom Hearts 3, the Disney worlds are filler. The organization is there doing stuff, but if we're being honest, they aren't doing anything to the world. The Disney characters have no impact on the big story. It's not a big complaint, but it is definitely a complaint I have about the series now. Now that we've talked about the main villains of Kingdom Hearts 1, I say we jump into the main cast of Kingdom Hearts 1, such as Sora, Riku, and Kairi, and Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. And now it's time to move into the main character swinging his key around, Sora. Now, what do I like about Sora? I have no fucking clue. I literally can't. There's something about his character that I love, but if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't even know how to pinpoint it. I don't know what it is, I can't put my finger on it. But if I had to take a guess as to what it was that I liked about Sora, it's probably only because of nostalgia. I probably really only like his character because I grew up with him. For those of you who don't know, Sora's original intention in Kingdom Hearts 1 was to be the Link of Kingdom Hearts. He was supposed to be a character that the player could portray themselves onto as they played through the game, and I did that. So, growing up with Sora, I've always just felt this connection with the character, regardless of his flaws, regardless of his childish behavior, regardless of everything. If I'm being honest, I probably really only like Sora as a character for nostalgia reasons, and that's okay. I think my biggest complaint about Sora nowadays is that he thinks he is weak without his friends. That annoys me simply because we've seen Sora fight on his own and he did just fine, but to him he thinks he's weak. I don't know. It's a weird thing to complain about, but let's move on. Let's talk about how Riku's a pussy bitch. Now, Jarvis, really? Riku's a pussy bitch? What's your reasoning for that? You wanna know my reasoning? His entire motivation for being a villain in Kingdom Hearts 1 is because Sora replaces him with Donald and Goofy, or so he thinks. And so he's mad at Sora as like, nah, you replaced me. He's an angry child. And I very much dislike Riku in Kingdom Hearts 1. I hate Riku in Kingdom Hearts 1. For being honest, my least favorite character. Now, he does come through in the end. And I'm not going to say much because these are for later videos, but he does come through later down in the series. But other than that, Riku's a pussy bitch in Kingdom Hearts 1. That's all I gotta say. There's not much else I can say. I don't like Riku in Kingdom Hearts 1, period. Period. Now let's talk about Kairi. There's not much to say about Kairi in Kingdom Hearts 1 because she's not doing much in Kingdom Hearts 1. She's sleeping. She comes back in the end, and she does give Sora the motivation to continue his journey onward, but other than that, she doesn't do much. So Kairi just sort of does jack shit in Kingdom Hearts 1, except for Sora's motivation at the end. So I like Kairi, but she didn't do much. And that's kind of not her fault. Mickey Mouse did nothing the entire game. At all. He wasn't even in the game. He wasn't in the game at all. At all. He was there at the very end as a silhouette. That was it. Now granted, that was the most that the Disney allowed for the game to have of him, but still, what he was doing in the background wasn't even all that important. At all. The mouse. Mouse is fucking dumb. Dumb as shit. Alright, Donald, no one can understand a fucking word you're saying.
I'm coming. Sounds good. Okay, but first, how about dinner?
Finishing off the main cast, I'm going to talk about Goofy. Goofy actually does more than Donald in this game. Now, Donald does do stuff in this game, I'm just not covering it because I don't want to. Goofy actually comes through for Sora towards the end of the game. And it's kind of heartwarming seeing that it's Goofy, that he was smart enough to see through the villain's ruse. Goofy I don't like the Disney characters in a lot of the games, but in Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically, the Disney characters really shined, and then there's Donald who didn't shine, and then there's Mickey who didn't do anything the entire game. So it's really only Goofy, and then some of the Disney characters that were in the worlds, and some of the Disney villains. That's really about it for the characters. Okay, so this video is way longer than I had initially intended, so sad to say, but this is going to have to go down to a part 2 to continue the rest of my Kingdom Hearts 1 thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed the little bits that I did today, which was just the story and the characters for Kingdom Hearts 1, but in the next few videos we'll be getting into the combat and the game mechanics. So hit that sub button, hit that like button, leave some comments, get into some discussion, talk shit on what I said. We can debate. I'm for it. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.